Good morning.
Hello, hello. Good to see you, Dawn. How are you?
Good to see you too, Nick. Always a pleasure. This is the second time you've been on doing this for us now.
Well, yes, we're still sending out, obviously, the healing prayers to our lovely Alison, of course, and I invite everyone to do the same.
Yes, please do. Please keep sending out that love, and which is something we're going to be talking about today.
Absolutely.
So, folks, shall we say some hellos?
Let's say hello to.
Oh, there's no one here yet. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It's because they're so used to us running late and talking in the background. You see.
It's true. It's true.
It's the way it is. It's the way it is.
Nick,
but of course,
Nick was pulling faces at me earlier, so I'm still in a little bit of a laughing there. No, me?
Really? Would I? You know, my favourite is definitely the pool cue glasses.
The pool cue glasses were fabulous. The dead bug.
Absolutely. We're not alone no more. Hello, Christine.
You're not alone. We sang that last week. Do you remember?
Yes, we did. It's Millie.
Yes. Do you know, if I had the guts, I would 100% have purple hair.
Do you know what? I think it would suit you perfectly. Purple is a little thing. Hello, Mother.
Hi, Mum. Deb Black. Hello, Deb. Hello. I must give a massive shout out to my gorgeous mum, my angel, my queen. It was her birthday yesterday, and I know that she watches every single show.
Well, happy birthday, other mother.
Yay!
And hello to Hayley Porter. Good morning.
Porter. Good morning to you. Maureen Bracken. Top of the morning to you both. From Dublin.
Fabulous.
That was my best top-notch Irish accent.
Corrie Dutton, South Africa. Hello. Welcome.
Siobhan. I love the spelling of that. My brain wants to say Siobhan. Siobhan. Morning, everyone. Hearts. Lots of hearts. God bless you.
Lillian Summers from Glasgow, up in the north there. I hope it's a little cooler than it is here.
Yeah. Lillian Summers. Catherine Boy, did you say? Sorry, Richard. Catherine Boy. Hello, Catherine Boy. She's on Facebook, so hello there. Maxine. Hello, Maxine, as well. Shout out. Joseph. Hello to Joseph too. Sorry you're not coming up on screen.
But you are with us. That's all that matters.
You're in here.
Yes.
Angeline.
Hello.
Hello. Sarah, beautiful name, my nan's name. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Mary.
And Heather too. She's about. Hello, Heather.
Lucky Heather. Hello, Catherine.
And Katie, she's here. Hello, Katie.
Oh, Philippa. Hello, Philippa.
Another lovely name.
Yeah.
And nice. Nick, well, Nick, you've got to say hello to the Nicks. Hello. All Nicks together.
Hello, Maria. Hello, Maria. So that's it. Oh, sorry you're not up on the camera, but because it's on Facebook. So sorry about that, my love. Okay, Martin. We love you. We saw you last week. God bless you.
Yes.
Love and light. Have soon a family. I missed that.
Heavenly birthday, I think that.
Can I have that? Oh, yeah. Love and light. Have soon a family. Heavenly one. Her birthday on the 23rd of August. Happy birthday.
Tomorrow.
Happy birthday. Happy heavenly birthday. Want to do the next one?
Arlene Clark. Morning from Dundee. Aha.
Good morning.
We're well represented in the north.
Yes, they are, I'd say, aren't they? Kelly Rocket, my favourite name. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Nick. Hey. Hello. Oh, another Siobhan.
Oh, I think it's the same one. Hoping she'll be able to listen to all the show. Fingers crossed, supposed to be. But you'll be fine.
You'll be great. No worries.
It's all about intent. Claim victory in your heart and the universe will follow.
Amen. I love that.
I stole it.
On a shirt. Heather Jade Wax.
Ooh,
Put some beautiful flowers.
Purple hair.
That's my mum.
Hello, mum.
That was a picture taken yesterday on her birthday. Oh, bless her heart.
We've both got to behave today. If both our mothers are watching, come on.
I know, we've got to be on our best behaviours. Love you, mum. More than ever.
Oh, bless. And Maxine Entwistle.
Great name.
I love that. And I think I actually said something right for James.
Correctly.
And healing to Dad, who's extremely poorly. Absolutely, yes.
Yes, healing for your dad. Healing for anyone who needs it. Melanie Whelans. I think I got that right.
I think you got that right. Hello, Melanie.
Hi, everyone, she says. Hello, Melanie.
Helen Graham. Oh, bless mother-in-law and father on this day.
Oh, bless them. It's their anniversary of their passing to the light.
Gonna say it's their heavenly birthday. It's their release from the burden of what we create for ourselves in this world.
Exactly, but always.
But it doesn't make it any better for the feeling,
no.
But better for them.
Exactly. God bless you. Carrie-Anne Marshall Kearns. Good morning. Oh, nice smiley face. That's what we like to see.
We do. We need the love, we need the upliftment, as they say.
We so do. But today's show is going to be all about the importance of positivity and the importance, I won't say the word yet, but intention, as you said. Yeah, I think that's everybody.
I think so.
Anyone who comes on a little bit later, good morning to you too.
Oh, Helen Mansell, I remember you.
Hello, Helen. I love the butterflies. So pretty.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Thank you for that. Thank you. Butterflies are always about renewal, aren't they? Renewal of life and renewal of change in life as well. So coming out of the darkness, coming out of their chrysalis, coming into new life.
Absolutely. One journey ends, another begins.
Absolutely. So, without further ado, I think that's enough hellos this morning. Without further ado, let's go to our topic for today.
Yes.
Oh, Ryan, well, very quick. Izzy Ryan, good morning. Oh, pretty. Is that a fairy or an angel? I'm not sure. Either way, I love both. And lovely purple hearts. Thank you, darling. Thank you very much. Today's topic, I think, is something we very much, especially after a lot of churches closing down and stuff, I think it is something that people thought, the church is closed now, that's it, and we've lost the intention, the power behind it. And this morning's topic is the power and importance of prayer.
Absolutely.
I was asking Spirit, what do we talk about this week? And they didn't answer me. They left me. And then they didn't leave me. I just wasn't hearing. And then a bit later, they just said to me, boom, prayer. And I thought, oh my gosh, absolutely. That's a great topic.
Absolutely. And in actual fact, if you want to know even more irony and spirit contact, when you messaged me and said, what do you think? Yes. I was actually working on the cover for a prayer book I'm doing.
Oh, wow.
Which is, it's not a traditional just list of endless prayers, because that's not how I work. But it was just so ironic that I'm sitting there playing with this cover, for this prayer book that I'm trying to get off the run there, and suddenly you're talking about prayer, and it's like all our prayers are answered.
I just do you know what? It doesn't matter how many years I do this. I never get bored of the magic and wonder of Spirit's ability to communicate with us and just make things happen.
Absolutely.
Get over the wonder of that.
Absolutely. And I think it is very much at that core of when we talk about a personal relationship with the Great Spirit, the source, whatever it is you want to call it. And frankly, whatever you want to call a prayer. It is in its core a personal conversation,
Absolutely.
and I think the vitalness of that, anyone who sits in a circle knows that you've got to create your link and you've got to set out your intention, and that's mostly done by prayer. But once again, it always brings me back to, it doesn't matter what you call it, so long as you do it.
Yeah, and you don't. We got. Oh, Nick has. We've lost Nick for a second. Oh, and he'll be back in a second. He's back. He's back. He's back.
Hello.
Go, my darling. I think we get bogged down with the thought of, oh, what's that prayer I've got to remember? That one that was written down that I need to remember, or saying it. We were saying earlier before we started the show, saying it in parrot fashion. And it's no longer about what's in your heart. You're no longer giving a message from your heart to your creator, to God, to whoever you're talking to. It's just parrot fashion. Therefore, It no longer has the meaning. It no longer holds the energy. So it doesn't mean anything anymore.
No, and this is it. I mean, you would probably be, I was telling you earlier, people are very surprised when I say, I very rarely use the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer was never intended to be a by-rote parrot fashion prayer. It was just like, anyone who has sat in circle or run a circle will know this conversation. It was, so Joshua, I really struggle with prayers. What do I do? And he said, say something like this. It was a list of covering the bases, all the things that you should do. It's like a recipe, but as we all know, if we've all baked a cake or made biscuits or whatever, the end result is always slightly different, extremely personal, and we all like to add a little bit extra of this or a little bit less of that. And
it goes down the family, their recipe for that.
Absolutely. But so long as all of the main ingredients are there, you will end up with a cake or you will end up with a biscuit. And that is really, for me, the key thing about prayer. And like you said, saying things by rote takes away that absolute necessity. Now, Millie, I have a book of Catholic healing prayers, but I feel a personal prayer is more powerful because it comes absolutely
100%. That's exactly what we're saying. You can still say those prayers and they're still very valid, but they're only just, all it is pen and paper. That's all you've got in that book.
Yeah.
It won't mean anything. It won't be anything. They're just words. It won't be anything unless you mean it.
Unless you are the one who put that intention within it. Now there is an old caveat if you want to play his downstairs advocate, where if everyone comes together to say a prayer that has got history and tradition, it will have that power. But if you look at it in the core of it, it's still that intent of what you're coming together to do. And if you had 1 billion people come together and all say the Lord's Prayer, it would have effect. But if you had 1 billion people come together and say, thank you, help me be better, help my loved ones, it would still, if not more, have that, because it's within you. You're focusing on that intent. And it is, I jokingly said, claim victory in your heart and the universe will follow. I actually borrowed that from Babylon 5. I'm a big sci-fi fan. But, it really is the core of what prayer is. You claim within your heart that meaning, you send it out into the universe. And that then kind of leads us, I suppose, to how prayers are answered, which is a really, really tough one. Yes. Unconditional love, Martine. Absolutely.
The highest good of all. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's just a prayer in itself. That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And when we're talking about how prayers are answered, if you're thinking of a child and you say, dear Lord, I pray for a bike this Christmas, something like, you might not get exactly the bike. You may not get that green bike with the high rev and all that sort of thing that you wanted, but you will get what is for your best. The great Lord, the great Creator, the great White Spirit, however you like to call it him, will do what is for your highest good. So you may not get what you want, but my gosh, you will always get what you need. And it may be painful. It may not be, it may not taste nice, but all medicine does not always taste good.
Quite right. And that is why she sang a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. You know, and it's, I feel sometimes like I'm a walking bag of cliches and catchphrases, but you know, I don't care because they're useful. You know, but the thing about, you know, the answering of the prayers, you're absolutely right. You know, you don't always get what you want, but you always get what you need. The point is, if you're asking for something that is impossible,
yes,
if you're asking for something that is going to be negative towards your own life or development, and you don't realize that, or someone else's, and you don't necessarily realize that, then there is that kind of autonomy of, well, hang on a minute, you know, it's like ordering a parcel from Amazon. You know, you know you want that, but oh dear, sorry, it's out of stock, love. Please select something else. And
then you're like, oh, thank God it was out of stock, because now I've been able to get this, that, and the other.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that is, it's vital. But certainly when the intent is, as Martine says, unconditional love and light, they're never gonna say no to that kind of prayer. And it is all about the original intent. It's all about the content as well. As I said, we always end up talking about the Lord's Prayer when we talk about prayer. There are many different versions of it depending on the translation. Izzy, I love that.
We are given gifts, but they were often not in nice packaging. That's cool. Like that. Cheers to that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I sometimes think of the Lord's Prayer in that way because there are so many different versions of it depending on the translation. There's the King James version, there's the Amplified Bible, there's so many different versions of scripture that the translations have been, you know, messed around. And let's not forget that it's very westernized. I mean, I always remind people the person that gave the Lord's Prayer was not called Jesus. His name would have been Joshua, because his name was Yeshua. So if we can't even get the name right.
It's obvious, isn't it, that it's all Chinese whispers. It starts out, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to say. And then it goes down to the next person, the next one. Sorry, what did she say? What did she say in the back? I didn't quite get that. And then, you know, because don't forget, I was saying to you earlier, wasn't I? The majority of people in that time couldn't even write or read. So everything was done everything was verbal. So if you couldn't quite get it, it would have been Chinese whispers, and you would have lost the actual genuine words. So all that's left is the importance of your intent. Don't get bogged down with the words that are written down on pen and paper. Think of what's important in your heart.
Absolutely. And I absolutely love what Dominique has had to say. You know, and it reminds me, God would never put you in a position that you couldn't handle.
That's so true. That's so true.
It reminds me of that old saying, God knows you, God knows your heart, and knows how broad your shoulders are. And would never put anything on them that you couldn't handle. And it's absolutely right. And it does apply to all aspects of spiritualism, but especially when you're asking for something, you know.
Absolutely. I had a penny for every time I'd said, I can't do this, I can't go through all of this. And then I've looked back, say 3 years later or something, and I think, how did I get through all that? How did I do it? Because God knew I could.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Millie has said, I prayed
hard once when I was in a bad place, that even though my pain wasn't taken away, healed the negative person. Oh, sorry, healed. The negative person was removed from my life so I could become more wise. Amen.
Yes. What's that? Here we go with it's old saying day. Sorry. Be grateful for the thorn in your side. It gets you moving faster. It's another one that I've borrowed. you know, but it's really, really important, that whole, what you're saying about the focus of it, the intent. And, you know, every tradition in the world has got that, you know, some more ritualistic than others.
Yes.
Which is why people come to the whole, you know, we always pray like this, even though we were just taught to do that so that we'd keep in control and shut up.
Exactly. It's like doing that, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's not
absolutely.
You don't have to do that to be quiet. You're just being told to do that as a child. That's how. That's what we're meant to do. We don't need to do that.
Now, Kerry, most people who whisper about people, things get added and twisted into versions, and they didn't start. Absolutely, and you know, if you wanna use, and I apologize. If you wanna use the same, you know, Lord's Prayer, you know, example, the written texts of those events were written down at least 60 years afterwards, you know. Yeah. And as our last commenter was saying, morning, Leslie. As our last commenter was saying, you know, if you tell people, they will twist it to their own ends, and that was a really big thing. That's a huge, as well as those Chinese whispers, you know, it's going to sound really odd coming from someone like me, but I cannot, in good conscience, say that everything that we read in Scripture is an accurate. Absolutely, it's portrayed as a blow-by-blow account, especially the Lord's Prayer. Yeah. But you can't really say for certain. So you've got to go for what's in your heart, and it brings us back round, thankfully, to the whole point of prayer.
Absolutely. Heather J. Wax, she's written, remind us that when we get problems, we can ask, yes. What is this teaching me? Exactly. With grace and gratitude. Gratitude is something I really want to talk about. Thank you. Look for the silver lining in any situation. Thank you.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you so much. You're absolutely right. You look back, like I said earlier, you look back and think, how did I get through that? And you know, and what did I learn from that? And you just, oh, it's incredible. But yes, gratitude. When we're given, when we do actually get our prayers in whatever form they come, the gratitude, saying thank you for me is like the closing part of the prayer. It's like the amen. It's like the word amen. What does that actually mean? Does it mean goodbye, finished? I personally think it means thank you. You know?
Pretty much. It's literally just a word used to, and it's not actually, people call it a Christian term. It's actually Hebrew. It's what the Jewish tradition was using for thousands of years before Christianity came along. And it literally is, okay, done. You know, there's so many different versions. So mote it be, blessed be. You know, it's just a way of signing off.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, when I do prayers, when I'm having my personal prayer time and I'm sitting I don't even always say amen. I just sit as okay, thank you, I'm going now. You know, I feel really silly sometimes because I get into a real deep conversation.
It's natural because it's a natural conversation rather than being, we've got to say amen now.
Yeah.
Joanne Lewis, she's put, I had a miracle. I was in very bad pain and asked God for help, and instantly I finished asking, as I finished answering, the pain went away and it was instant relief. I was and am forever humbled. Thank you, God. That's beautiful. Beautiful healing. Beautiful healing.
And this is there's always going to be, you know, people wondering with a prayer, is part you, part spirit, part you controlling you and managing your own pain.
Let's not forget, yes, we have the placebo effect. We mustn't forget that. That's fine. Absolutely. That's absolutely fine. But we are spirit in our own bodies, and we forget that, don't we? We forget the power that we have. We think we're just physical. We're not. We're spirit now in a physical form. So we have the power to heal. You know, God has given us that power.
In actual fact, one of the things that we were always taught in the circle is we are a telephone exchange.
Yeah.
So, you know, we link
From
into the
spirit.
person that's there, you know.
Spirit to spirit.
What was it that one of my healing leaders once said? From spirit, through spirit, to spirit. The
That's what I
three
just
spirits. Yeah. Now, for me, in this statement, there's a very important phrase that backs up the importance of the structure of prayer, but also whether or not it's wholly a placebo effect.
Yeah.
Because all that was said, I asked God for help. Not take this away, not let this cup pass, not heal me now, don't fix it. It's just help.
Yeah.
Help. So it wasn't a demand or a request for absolute fixing. It was just make this a little bit better. And then instant relief, the pain went away.
Which is fantastic. But that help may have come in the form of a phone call from a doctor saying, "Oh, we've had a cancellation. You can now get an appointment for you." It may have happened like that, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did this yesterday, actually. No, it was the day before. People talk about feathers, you know, and
I just, oh my gosh, spirit.
They're linking us up.
And then you said that. Oh, I love it.
Now, this kind of sums up the whole argument, really, because do we believe that it's literally a physical angel feather that's been plucked off a wing and fallen beside us? Absolutely not. There may be occasions, but they're very few and far between. But what spirit can do is manipulate the timings, manipulate the presences. So at that particular moment, a bird was flying past with a feather that was ready to come out to land right in front of you, right there. That for me is how prayer works. Spirit, we talk about, last week we were talking about music, same principle. You know, they can organise for that radio producer to have that particular playlist playing at that particular time. You know, so there is a huge, you know, factory of mechanics going on. But we cannot deny that we are part of that process. You know, we are definitely part of that process because we are there at that moment.
Yeah. And we are spirit.
And we are spirit. We are a fragment of the divine source trying to figure itself out. We have that ability to link into it and have an impact on it. Otherwise, what will be the point of the spiritualist principle of personal responsibility? You know, so
absolutely right. I love this. This has got me fired up because it's something it's a huge thing, isn't it?
Yes, you know, absolutely.
It's huge. And always remember to say your thank yous. We get stuff and then we forget, don't we? We go, oh yeah. Oh my God, thank you for that.
Absolutely. I once again, I'm not a very formal person. You know, like anything that's really, really formal and really, really controlled, I just lose it.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm driving along and, you know, I get a ping on the phone and the phone rings and I've got it all connected to the car. So I'm legal and safe. And I push the button and say, hello, what's up? Oh, you know what you were asking about the other day? Well, it's finally happened. Oh, okay, lovely. And I'm just going along and I look at driving. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, I'm the same. I do the same. Yeah. Helen Mansell.
Absolutely. All things bright and beautiful. Absolutely. And you know,
Richard's so cheeky. Like, ignoring.
Actually, that might be a good topic for another day. The Sumerian texts do indeed talk about visitations, but were they talking about aliens, or is it just another culturally defined representation of spirit contact? That's a question for perhaps another day. I personally believe, and I pray for an answer to this every single day, that we live in such a huge world. They call it infinite. Mm-hmm. A huge, huge universe. Why would we be the only people on? Yeah. Going to Richard's comment, that kind of gives away what he said. Why would we be the only ones here? And, you know, if you go back a couple of thousand years, we didn't know where everyone was on the whole surface of the planet. We it would have been nice if we went adventuring and made friends, but it doesn't always work out like that. Humanity, thank you very much. But there are so many different cultures and different aspects. Everyone just shares the love on this chat. I love it.
It's all about, though.
Absolutely.
It's not, this is the big thing. It's not, can I just say, it's not always about getting a message. It's about the message.
Absolutely. And the message is always, you know, reaching out and finding people that you can connect with. You know, I mean, we've actually spoken a maximum of half a dozen times in the last 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, but you're like an old friend that I've known for years. You know, I mean, it's getting scary that we finish each other's sentences. You know? But that's what spirit does. It connects people, just like prayer. It connects people, because even though I have a bit of an aversion to prayer by rote, it does connect people. It brings people together. And that's where, you know, the churches come in. And like we were talking about earlier on.
Yes, by the way.
Absolutely. We were talking earlier about the Vesper hymn and the healing hymn and you know the healing hymn in particular, when it was put to music as well. It was a very unifying prayer.
Yes, because last week we were talking about music, weren't we? And music is so emotive for everybody. Human, animal, whatever you are, music is everything, isn't it? It's the food of love.
Absolutely.
So putting prayer to music.
Absolutely. I mean, anyone who's probably over the age of 20 and been to a spiritualist church will know the words, "Grant us thy peace, O God of peace and love," as the
You're so pretty. He has the voice of an angel.
Number one, when it comes to copyright of that particular song. Number two, I'm not tuneful enough for the algorithm to notice it. And number three, it's out of copyright because I checked. It's part of a hymn book that I created, and every single one had to be out of copyright. And you know, hymns and prayers, they do go hand in hand. But once again, it takes away from that personal impact.
Yes.
That personal relationship that we build up with spirit. And you know, so I'm going to ask you a question now, Dawn. You know, let's ask each other questions.
Before we do, let me just say, Christine Davis, I was in the garden earlier, and a white butterfly seemed it would be following me around. Yeah.
Oh, and they do. Insects of that nature are always drawn to light. And if you're in the garden during daytime, what light source they can't reach that one up there. They're drawn to the spirit light. I truly believe they're drawn to the spirit light. And the spirit within, and the more you nurture that, be it with prayer or just good deeds, the stronger and bolder it will be. But I've got a question for you, Dawn.
Go right ahead.
When you send your prayers out, do they go directly to the source, or are they conveyed by our spirit friends?
I think I would like to think that they are conveyed by our spirit friends, probably more likely. And then I think the bigger stuff that they need help with then goes on to the God source.
Yes, I personally think the same, and of course I'd add to that in my own.
Because my family love me, so they would want to listen to me.
Absolutely. And my kind of take on it, and I'm so glad you said that. Doves. Oh yes. Whitney and her doves. Yes. Do you know what? It's really strange. I get ravens.
Do you? Oh my gosh! I have. Let me get you something.
Ravens follow me around all the time. It's so creepy. Butterflies and dragonflies. Oh yes, Izzy. the signs from spirit. And I think that spirit use the animal kingdom and insect world to actually, oh, look at that.
I'm a big fan. I'm very attracted to them for some weird reason. I don't know why. And just you mentioning, I have a dragonfly tattoo on my shoulder.
Oh, wow. There you go. The serendipity of it all. Rose from Ireland. Hello. Welcome to the family. So my thoughts on how they are conveyed is very, very similar. It's just probably worded differently, you know how it is. But I do not believe that the being that controls and kickstarts all life, the source, God, whatever you want to call it, is totally understandable, and therefore we are not totally understandable to it. So our friends and helpers in spirit, our guides and everything, they have to translate information from the Great Spirit through a higher source to the group, to the individual, translating that information to us. So I believe that there will be an element of that going backwards. So I believe that our friends and helpers and our loved ones who absolutely love us dearly and would want to help are part of that process of translation. You know, the whole idea that God is some old bloke with a long grey beard sitting on a cloud, or I don't know, an internet channel producer sitting behind a desk, you know, whatever view you have of what God is.
I love that you said, I love that.
Nice little sound.
Linda, I have a butterfly tattoo on my ankle for my dad.
Yes. And I tell and I will just briefly tell a story about that. My dad, mum's partner, didn't speak to her for 2 weeks for having a tattoo. But it is a lovely tattoo. It is a lovely tattoo. And all of these things that we do in memory of, all of these things that we experience are part of that process of connecting, part of that process of building up that relationship. So, you know, my thoughts are, how do we build up a natural relationship with the divine if, you know, it's passed on through others? What we must remember is spirit don't do Chinese whispers like humans do. They translate.
Yes.
And they're better translators than humans are. Katie.
Oh, Katie. She's so sorry I'm very late. Bless you.
Oh, you're all right. You got here in the end. You know.
You came when you were meant to, so don't worry.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think when it comes to prayer, you know, there are three really key important things, the three aspects of prayer that really, really matter. We've discussed them at length, but bringing them together as a kind of a focus for anyone who wants to understand their prayers more is intent, honesty, and gratitude.
Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if you cover all three of those bases, nothing can go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you won't always get exactly what you're asking for, but as we've said, you get what you need. And sometimes that need, hey, Carrie, oh, look, I do love SPtv and their heart. Now you see, some might say that is a sign that you're going to come into some good fortune. If you want to go in the old traditions, but you know, I think when it comes to the importance of prayer, we tend to forget that we are the first port of call. We are the one creating that prayer, and if we do not,
because we are spirit, we are the author of that prayer.
Absolutely. And if we don't pray, we're not going to get in trouble, because you don't necessarily have to just sit there like you know, it's thought process, just like mediumship. They can hear it. Now, here's a question.
Chrissy Wheatley, do spirits forgive and forget and let any differences go they had with each other? Let's start off by I'll start off quickly by just saying that they don't lose their humanity. They don't.
We have just. I'm sure Dawn will be back in a minute. No, you're back. I believe you were just saying they don't lose their humanity and their original behaviours straight away.
Absolutely. They don't lose that straight away, as Nick just said perfectly. So they are still the same people. We don't go to the spirit world and then it's like, oh, fabulous. You know, it's not like that. That's just not going to be helpful to anybody's development. But they move on. They let go of all their pains, and they might be grotty because they've got a bad back, and that's what started the argument, you know, all that sort of thing. They move through all that because they no longer have those entrapments. And then they learn, they see things from a different perspective. They're able to open their minds, so they haven't got those entrapments. They're able to open their minds and think, actually what he said did have a, and perhaps overreacted when I said so and so. And then they'll move on and they'll meet other higher minds as well who can teach them. And then before that, they learn to forgive much easier than we would on the earth plane. They see the whole picture rather than being blinkered like we are on the earth plane quite often. And they eventually will be able to forgive, and a lot quicker than we will. And they'll see things from all aspects. I don't know what you want to say on that, Nick.
Absolutely. It's funny, really. I was asking how this process worked, and my guide turned around and said, I'll show you something, but it's very important that you remember it's only an example and not quite what happens. It's just your limited human mind can't understand it, so I'll show you a representation. And I saw this beach, and it always reminds me of footsteps on the beach anyway. And we get to see our life played from a as you said, different perspective. We get to see these key events that impacted our life and our behaviors and our ways of thinking played over. And then as we see them from a different perspective, like, could I have done that better?
Yeah.
And if you say yes, you go and do something about it, you know, even if it is, you know, I really shouldn't have done that. So I'm going to go and find someone who needs a bit of help understanding forgiveness. Or I'm going to go to that person that I didn't forgive and, you know, give them healing, you know, by way of making up for it, you know. Once again, it's about intention and action. And it always comes back. So, yeah, I totally agree. It's not an instant process. We don't suddenly become wonderful. And that's really important, because if we did suddenly change completely, how would we as mediums be able to demonstrate who they are?
Absolutely.
So that absolute difficulty of forgiving, that absolute difficulty of forgetting, or that, or conversely, the absolute willingness to forgive absolutely everything with no reason. It all makes up that part of the personality. And lest we forget, you know, forgiveness of ourselves and each other is something that we quite often ask in prayers too.
Absolutely.
It's probably one of the hardest ones.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, above and beyond everything.
It can be very difficult, but it's healing for both. It's healing for you and the person you wronged as well.
Absolutely.
I think we better get on and do some readings before we have to.
Yes.
Do loved ones? Yeah, we've got that already.
We've done that one.
Sorry, it's up on the screen. I hope that helped, my darling. I pray to the angels and give me strength to cope with my anxiety and pain. God bless you. Yeah, bless your heart. As long as you pray and you have that intent in your heart, you know, and say it with gusto from your heart. That's all.
Absolutely.
And know that you're getting that love from not just from don't just think about that, but also think about your loved ones in the world of spirit. They're like we said, they're the first port of call, you know, before we go on.
Yeah. Izzy says, I feel weird and off balance on the odd occasion. I have gone out without checking in with morning prayers, etc. The first time I did it actually made me believe in it due to how I felt.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is it. When it becomes part of your life, it has that huge. I mean, if I don't sit and send out a prayer before I give a message, I feel, you know,
unprepared.
I'm unprepared.
Yeah,
you know, it's like washing your hands before making your cake. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
The cake analogy again. Oh dear.
I love the cake analogy. Okay, let's get ourselves together, people. And I'm going to just pour myself. This is the worst teapot in the world. It doesn't pour. It just goes.
Wow.
It's going to go
There's
in.
nothing wrong.
Oh,
Spirit always
I'm doing
ends
it.
with
Oh,
tea.
look at that.
Oh.
It normally pours all over the floor, but it's actually. How did that work? Love
Spirit,
it.
you sent out your thoughts and hope for the best.
I sent out my intention.
I'm afraid I'm still a bad boy. I'm still a soda drinker. I have to be kidding. Richard will tell me off for giving the brand name.
Been wondering what they process with.
About understanding and forgiveness, the process. Do we change instantly? Okay. Do we grow over time? It's a continuation of the process, I believe. We have to start now. We have to start learning now. Absolutely. Otherwise, there'd be no point. But there are always going to be messages and points that we miss that we need to work on.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. I've loved this morning, I must say. Love this.
Oh, Jane O'Rourke. Here's a big one. Years ago, I was in a very difficult place. I always used to visit a small chapel to pray. One particular Sunday, I went to pray in a chapel and it was deserted. I sat down and noticed a Bible open next to me, and I picked it up and read the passage. And it said, "You do not have to come into my house for me to hear you." Absolutely. Oh, wow.
Oh, dear. You're giving me all the feels. Calm down, people.
Magic.
Yes. Love it. Absolutely love it.
And quite right too.
Yeah. You don't have to. I was saying to you earlier, wasn't I, about how a lot of, sadly, through lockdown and that, a lot of spiritualist churches couldn't pay their bills, anymore and stuff. And it happens. And a lot of them closed down, or just went online. But forgetting that you don't need to sit in a church, as lovely it is. My granddad used to say, you can pray on the loo if you want.
Yeah. In actual fact, just a nice link into mediumship. I was always taught that spirit are quite close when you're on the loo and doing your ablutions.
You're relaxed.
Because you're relaxing, and it's a part of the natural body's focus on cleansing. So therefore your light shines brighter and they can see you better. It's kind of like making sure that your microphone works properly. Yeah. So pray on the loo.
It works.
There is an old saying that my grandmother used to say about church and chapel, but I'm not going to finish it.
I know it. Because my granddad told me, but that's what I was thinking of.
So yeah,
letting the wind rattle, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, and it doesn't matter where you are, because where you are is where you are and where you need to be. So there is.
Yeah, it's not 4 walls that have been built by man.
Absolutely. Yes, Debbie's on the same wavelength as us, bless her. So shall we link in ourselves and
the location? Thank you, Debbie. That's exactly what we're saying.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And our intention now is to get someone. Shall I start this time?
Go for it, my darling.
Okay, so as I link, hello, dear. I love it when I have someone quite forceful coming through to begin with. In actual, I was told to open my eyes. She did love the teapot herself. I've got this lady coming through. She was a force to be reckoned with. Some might have said battle axe. However, she did have a really, really kind heart and a really determined sense of family values, a strength of support and encouragement, but you just didn't cross her when it came to her family. So there's where that attitude comes from. This force, as she comes forward, I'm being made aware of thank you, dear. She says, padded. I'm padded. I don't care. I used to make cakes as much as I prayed. Oh, bless her. So she was very good in the kitchen. She liked her food, and she didn't care. I haven't heard that one in years. Pork cheese. Oh, now that's an old food. If ever, you used to get it from the butchers, and it was kind of like a pork cheese. I don't really know exactly what was in it, but I know my granddad used to swear by it. And things like bread and dripping and all that sort of thing. And she, thank you, as she steps forward further and closer, I'm very much made aware that there was some sort of weird sensation around this part of the face. So I don't know whether that would be something that she would have experienced. I do feel like I'm always sitting here rubbing my face, so I don't know whether that's something that someone.
She had a problem with her ears as well. Her ears would,
her
ears would kind of pop in and out all the time. She'd have to go and rub.
Yes, that's that feeling there where it tingles. That's what I was getting. Yes. So pressure ears and I'm getting annoyed by these, so I do feel there was deafness too, because she's like,
she had those ears, she wouldn't be wearing those.
No, she doesn't need them now, but I do feel that annoyance with them as a memory link. And I do want to speak to someone who has been going through the mill, and she literally through that she's been going through so it's a she.
Yeah, she used to do her hair up as well. She used to curl her hair, and she's showing me like a net and a scarf over the hair as well. I don't know if you're getting that, Nick.
Sunday best out in the road, don't especially to keep the curls safe from the wind and the rain.
The curls in nicely.
And they were so tight.
Really small.
Yeah.
These tiny little curlers, and have them in overnight, and then she'd wake up next morning, have to take the thing off and everything. Do we have anybody yet, Richard? No, not yet. Nobody yet. Okie dokie. No. Okie dokie.
She's out and about there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I think we are coming. I feel like I'm coming to a lady, as well, a lady to connect with. And as you say, she's going through the mill. Yeah, I totally agree with you. She's had some real difficulties at the moment, and she's wondering, where do I go next? You know, we're full up, and I need to. It's like I want to get off the train now.
Yeah. And in actual fact, the person that we're coming to, I'm very much being made aware that not only have they been going through the mill emotionally, physically it started impacting, because I just feel so, brain ache and brain freeze, and I just feel so occasionally nauseous from the dizziness and it's like a vice. It's like a vice.
All around here, like being held tight. The word mum just came through. So I right, bread and dripping are good memories of eating this with my nan and granddad. Bless.
See, somebody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You are far too young, Dawn, to know.
I know my mum would always used to have the bread and dripping saved from the beef after on Sunday, and she would talk about the jelly. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. Izzy, can you understand the rest of the information? A motherly, grandmotherly link.
I've just had Izzy. Thank you, Izzy. Can you understand the lady? She keeps showing me the curls. They were tight little curls she used to use to make them. She's given me party balloons as well. So I know there was very recently lots of what? Lots of party balloons. Okay, let's keep going. And I can taste. What can I taste? Is it like a sweet, so like a fortified wine or a sherry, something like that?
Sherry.
Is it sherry? I can taste.
Or it could be port. It could be port, actually.
Something.
The sweetness is the port. Yeah, it's really thick and.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the port. That's the port.
Okay.
Yeah, that's port.
Yeah, my dad has Mets, and she sounds like Gran. I used to do her hair, but they will know if it's her, Nick. Oh right, your mother's.
Yeah.
That's your.
Your nan was a bit smaller than this lady. I'm sorry. Izzy's got lots of ladies in spirit.
Okay, Okay, Izzy. Oh, cream sherry.
Cream sherry.
Cream sherry.
I take it back. I take it back. Cream sherry. Yes, I forgot sherry can be creamed. It is a lot sweeter.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sorry. No, carry on, Nick. Sorry.
You go. You go.
She's telling me that all from her from the stomach up through the chest and into here, there was like this horrible sicky, kind of, I don't know if it's reflux, what is it? But it's really nasty. And sometimes it gives a taste in the mouth as well. So it must be like some kind of reflux thing.
Yeah, reflux and heartburn, because I'm getting a twinge here, and that's usually either something else, but I usually get the arm with it as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but when it's on its own, it's usually some sort of heart. So
she's coming really close, and I'm hot. She's making me hot.
And yes, of course. She always looked flustered and had beads of sweat on her brow because she was always going for it, working, and you know,
roll out with a rolling pin as well.
Yeah, but when she was rolling, it was like smash,
full on.
Yeah, and beating the bowl up, it was like the bowl's gonna break in a minute if you're not careful.
Yeah, everything was done with gusto. My grandma used to have sherry. She did wear curlers. I've got acid reflux due to my meds. Okay. Would you understand the party balloons as well? So where she's obviously been around when there's we're talking very recent. There was party balloons. I think they were pink party balloons. If that helps. Right. I'm not getting much else with her now. I know she's calmed down with that, but there was dizziness as well. She's saying to me there was, because when I know that there was a problem with the mind towards the end, I start to slow down like I'm going to fall asleep. That's my cue for that. So I know that there was some dizziness, some forgetfulness towards the end. Okay.
Yeah, and to add to that as well, there was an element.
Sounds like both Mars.
You could have one and I could have the other. You know, if you divide the, because they're both nowhere. And oldest granddaughter's birthday is coming up. Yeah, that's definitely there. The emotion and the feeling and what you were saying about towards the end of her life, that's where she started getting grumpy. I call it grumpy. She could be quite harsh. Acerbic. Thank you. Acerbic. Like acid sometimes. But it was in actual fact, it ties in with what we was talking about, before the message. I love the way they link us together. It's so much fun. And that's how Izzy's symptoms, what you were saying is how Izzy's symptoms are now. But I do feel this lady got a little bit acerbic towards the end. Is it my word of the day? Yes. But she's obviously been around giving so much support. In actual fact, when you was talking about the balloons, I saw two separate occasions, and I feel that there was a balloon around you that somebody had brought as a gift to cheer you up, and it kept drifting even though there was no draft. And it's her way of saying I was there, or maybe even just tapping the string with my thing. Psychic breeze. I
had lots of losses past couple of years. I nursed both parents until they. God bless you. We've got a yellow balloon coming through now as well for me. It's been here I've been trying to ignore it though because I wanted to hear. And for me, that is assertive. And that for me is acknowledgement of a passing of a friend. Yellow balloon, because yellow balloon I always relate to friendship. And if the balloon is floating slowly, that means, to me, that is my key for a passing. Okay, so we have a passing of a friend. Lots of noises and things moving. There we go, Nick. Okay.
She's about.
Lovely, that's beautiful. There must have been like clicks as well, clicking sounds, like popping, clicking sounds as well that you've heard as well. Okay. So let me know if we have a passing of a friend, but there will be coming that you should know of. Okay, and for me, that is me. She's sending you hearts, and little white. My best friend passed 12 weeks ago. Oh, bless her soul. That's the balloon. That's the passing. She's the best friend is definitely around you. I feel the best friend is very close. Lots of clicking. Yeah, the best friend is around you because she's sending you that they're sending you this yellow balloon floating around you. So please take the love, and know that your friend is very much, they've not sort of passed, their energy is very much staying with you. Okay, the energy is very much around you a lot. So God bless you.
And as my parting, she just pushed something across the table to me and said, make sure she has that. It was like, okay, that's the politest way of putting
Make sure she has that.
Make sure she has that. And it was a fuchsia, a Tom Thumb plant with all the purples and blues. Just pushed it. So a fuchsia is her parting gift to you. That could have some great memory link there as well, I would imagine. And I'll say God bless you as well.
Yeah, that was lovely. Thank you so much, Izzy. Bless you. Oh, cute.
Yeah, I like the connection with spirit. You know, you get to meet so many wonderful people. You know, as well as in the physical world, of course. You know, there's so many wonderful people here, but to actually unite them with other wonderful people, that's what the job's all about.
That's what the job is. Yeah.
I tell you what else the other job is. Oh, bless her. Bless her. I think the other job is adverts. Yes, I was he beat me to it. I was like, I tell you what other jobs, you know, and really important is advertising.
We were so into the moment, we forgot to do our adverts. So we're going to have a quick ad break. Back in a minute.
My Spirit Life is a free online interactive magazine for those who have an interest in improving their spiritual lives. Authors can upload images, videos, and audio clips to their own articles. The public can place comments, rate the article, and follow the author. All articles are vetted before being published. For more information and to place your own article, please visit myspiritlife.co.uk.
MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com.
Join Jane Morton, the psychic counselor, tomorrow night from 8 p.m. for advice. Join Matt and Kirsty tonight from 8 p.m. The show consists of answering your spiritual questions and offering free mediumship and oracle card readings. Tomorrow afternoon from 1 p.m., Reverend Nick Brown hosts his show all about sharing thoughts, ideas, and ways of working to support a wider and open understanding of spiritualism.
Now, I noticed on the ad, because we obviously sit in the wings, you know, watching and filing our nails and making sure my eyeliner's right, you know, and titivating. But I noticed on the actual adverts, the whole event section of the website that's going on, and I'm sure we'll be able to have a look at the website if we ask Richard nicely. Yeah, Richard.
Nice one, Richard.
So, where were we, my love?
Okay, so next, can I give a little call out? Because I never gave a call out for myself.
You give a call out.
On obviously, Richard's got my my Facebook page, but also every Tuesday evening at 7:30 at Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, I hold a group there every Tuesday evening. Have done for the last 4 or 5 months now. But it's going really well. So if you're in the area, please do come down.
Absolutely. Get that physicality. And of course, there was an advert for some rather strange looking vicar type bloke tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm sure people will be, you know, having a cup of tea and might be bored. But no, seriously, thank you, Izzy, for the feedback about the fuchsia as well.
Yes,
that was very appreciated. And Kirsty, a newbie.
Oh, hello.
Hello, newbie. We're all newbies at some point. It's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
Thank you to all beautiful people on the chat. Can't answer all. I'm a bit emotional. Oh, bless you.
And that is what I love about SPtv. It really is a
family.
Community. It is a family and a community. And I think
I look like Marilyn Manson now. It's me on a good day.
Well, you should see me when I'm sneezing with my eyeliner. But I think the best of humanity is when we build communities and we build families. Yeah. And it's really, really important, because going back to the whole subject of prayer, yeah, what you said about churches closing, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And the fact that people can still come together in common cause and intent, as my friend upstairs would say, is brilliant. And it doesn't matter whether it's in bricks and mortar, whether it's online. Yes, there is that element of that physicality and that emotion, and all having a cup of tea at the end and taking the mick out of the bloke sharing because he has 5 sugars. You know, not that I'm being in any way specific.
Have you been to Wimbledon Spiritualist Church? Was it? It sounds like I feel like you've been there.
But that's how it is at our place as well. You know, we were really lucky in the pandemic because we hire a hall. So we didn't have the burden of worrying about the bills to pay. I'm on the committee of that hall now, so I help out by putting up cigarette disposal bins and painting walls and all little handheld jobs that Dad used to do, bless him. And once again, it's that community side where you come together. A friend of mine, Laurie, he's always doing something at his church.
That's right.
You know, it is that community side of it, but it doesn't have to be physical. It's really nice when it is, but it doesn't have to be, unless you're, you know, interested in going to a meeting tomorrow. And then the physical is really, really important. But you can come together through prayer without being in the same place.
Of course,
and
you can.
That's the important thing. I always remember
the same spirit, and we're not. Where do you live? You know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm always reminded, you know, by when people have these at 8 o'clock tonight, everybody's. Yes. And, you know, it's absolutely wonderful. It really, really is. And if you think there's no science behind it, if you want to go into the sci-fi side of it, they did that in an episode of Doctor Who, a really important one, The Sound of Drums, where they all had to say the Doctor's name at one particular time, and it gave him the strength to be recovered. So, you know, it's not just a focus of religion, it's also sci-fi as well. And I always find that science fiction likes to nick the best bits of everything. And so, you know, be it landing on the moon, as we was talking about earlier, or be it flying through the stars and building communities that come together without financial need and wanting to build creativity, but they always nick prayer. They always nick prayer because it's so important.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had people saying thank you for the lovely show and well done to Richard, Nick, and Dawn. Felt the love here. Oh, bless yous. Right, shall we get on?
Yes, absolutely.
Fabulous. Okay. Wisteria. What's wisteria? Oh, it's that purple plant, isn't it? Purple.
Yes, it's a vine-like thing that grows along.
That's it. That's part of the next message. Oh, heather, wisteria, everything. Okay. Right. Okay, am I starting this one? Or you?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. I have, to begin with, I have a really heavy headache. Really, it's like almost like a knife in my head to begin with. And there is a huge purple light behind my head. Huge purple light behind my head at the moment. I can feel it around me. So I know that the person I'm connecting with has mediumistic abilities. Okay. And all the purple vines that I'm seeing growing and coming down as well. This person is a deeply spiritually knowledgeable person that I'm coming to. Okay. Oh dear. And they're a very, very caring person, and they actively send out healing. Okay. This is their job. They actually take a job about it. They actively send out healing. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm coming. And also there is also the ability to do this in the family. And the person I'm connecting with, there's a loved one in spirit that I'm connecting with that has that ability. Okay, let me just get into that a bit deeper. Marmite's coming in as well for some reason. There's Marmite as a connection as well. Random. Okay.
I love random.
Yeah. Puzzle piece. This person loves to do puzzles because I'm getting puzzle pieces. And it is a lady I've got with me that I'm connecting with. So she was a medium. She had abilities with her that's passed down to you. Are we getting anybody yet, Richard, who has a medium? No one yet. Has a mediumship ability, and it was passed on by a lady in spirit that I'm connecting with. Can you follow on with that, Nick?
Yeah, because I don't know if you can notice past my glasses. I can't barely open my eye.
Yeah, your eyes gone
because that pain in the head, I was getting it behind my eye. And take it away, please. Take it away.
Ice pick.
There you go. So yeah, and that the whole purple thing is, it's a very personal connection with the individual, but that healing, I do believe that mediumistic healing that you were talking about is, she was notorious for it. Yes. And that word is really, really important. Notorious, to mean notoriety. And noteworthy. I do feel this gentleness and grace with her. Once again, she had the ability to be firm and put her hands and say, right, okay. But
balloons today for my daughter's birthday.
But it's this serenity. It's like
you could be in a lot of distress, all the people around, kids around and stuff, and she could center the room.
Yes.
Center the energy in the room.
Yes. And it's like nothing fazed her. Even when people needed putting in the places,
gently do it.
Now, let's talk about this.
Yes.
But you knew to stop when it got to that point. It never got further. It never got further. And this absolute grace and serenity that I was talking about. I'm reminded that we had a question earlier about forgive and forget. She was ahead of us all on that.
Oh, she was ahead of that completely.
Absolutely, completely A1, top of the game.
She would put a line under everything. She would say, right, we're not doing that. Life is too short. We stop it now. Nip it in the bud. Her word. Oh, this was her words. Nip it in the bud. Stop that now. We've got Granddad as well. Granddad that passed shortly. Oh, God, I can't. It must have been quite soon, because I can't work out before or after.
There was a very, very close overlap.
Yes.
In actual fact, I would say one followed because of the other.
Because of the other, absolutely. Like, when you get a broken heart and you get the other person that pines away from the other person. Happy all the time, no matter what. Sounds a lot like my dad's mum. Okay, mum. Okay. Oh, I'm now getting. Oh dear. She's telling me to pull my hair back. She says, pull your hair back out of your face. So do you know what? Out of respect to her, I'm going to do that. Just pull your hair back out of your face. She would have pulled your hair. She would have put your hair. She would have put the hair back. She would have put her hair back. And she was one for smoothing your hair as well. She was one for stroking your hair, and that would make you feel instantly better. She had it because she was a natural healer.
And in actual fact, as you was pulling your hair back, I was seeing her shadowing over, doing exactly. Granddad passed.
Then my auntie 5 weeks later, my gran like 2 weeks after they. Oh gosh, I am so dizzy. I'm so glad I'm sitting down.
Yeah.
That all makes sense. I am very, very dizzy right now. I can literally feel, if I wasn't sitting down, I would have fainted.
And it's very much a reflective of that whirlwind that she felt. She was very faithful and very. We talked about the forgivingness, but she was very, very faithful. And even though she was hurt that everyone was, ill, she knew everything was going to be all right. There was these pangs of upset for everyone left behind.
There was tension as well, a lot of tension in the family as well, she says. And she's making me forget everything. I want to go and say something to you, and she's making me forget everything. She's talking about the niece, something to do with a niece. She's past then my auntie. She's talking about
my auntie.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. Got you. Got you. I'm terrible with working out families. I can, you know, my great granddad. I would never clue who I'm talking about. Right. So this is you. Fabulous. What's it you wanted to say to me? Oatmeal. 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 That's porridge, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So granddad liked to eat oatmeal. He wants to say the word oatmeal, not porridge. There was also, he's saying fighting for my life. I was close together, lots of tension. Yeah, he was fighting for his life, he said. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. There was something I really wanted to say to you just now, and it's completely gone out of my head and I can't get myself. So perhaps I wasn't meant to say it. Perhaps that was something that will. Right, okay. You've been asking for something. You've been asking for clarity. You've been asking for a message, and it's right. Spirit's telling me this now. Okay, thank you. And but you've not got it yet. It's gonna come to you. All of a sudden, you'll wake up from a dream, wake up in the morning, or you'll be daydreaming, and all of a sudden it will come up, and you'll get the answer. You'll get the message. Okay, this is why I can't give it to you, because it keeps. I want to. Spirit giving it to me, but they make me forget before I have a chance to get it out of my mouth. Okay, so the answer is coming to you. It will come. I'm telling you that now. It will come to you.
And as Grandma would say, patience, dear.
Patience.
And I do feel that, as I just said that, and the way she was shadowing, I know it's kind of a strange thing, but that kind of tone that Mrs. Doubtfire had, that gentle, there is a slight accent. Yeah, it's that gentle wisdom, but there was also a slight accent to it. I couldn't quite make out. The way she spoke was just so calming, and I do feel that when you lost your memory, so to speak, I actually feel that there was things left unsaid because of that kind of feeling in the mind as well. But they weren't needed to be said because they were known, and that's a cop-out. But there were things that were left unsaid, but everybody knows what she would say.
What she would
say. Especially around the tension that was going on.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Granddad had leather slippers. He had a pair of leather slippers. And he also had, they're showing me tartan slippers as well. Okay. And they were under his bed, next to his bed, under it. I think they weren't ever put neatly. They're always one under the bed and one slightly out of the bed. I don't know why that's important, but there you go. Yes, you were like her, almost cool, calm and collected. She used to tell me you weren't gave the life you couldn't live it. That's what we were talking about before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
God, more than you can. Bless you. That's the thing. You just love it how it all works.
I know. And do you know what? There is an extension, and I think this is important for you at the moment, Kirsty. There is an extension that is occasionally added to that phrase about God knowing how broad your shoulders are, and that is maybe that's what life is about sometimes, growing bigger shoulders.
They just said to me, growing your wings.
Yeah, you grow your wings, grow bigger shoulders. Hey, lovely. And abandon slip, lovely. So they are on form today, bless them. But Kirsty, you are growing bigger shoulders, and you doubt that sometimes, but you know she would. And I've got you will be fine. And
I just want to say you will be all right, and you said you will be fine.
So you know, it's actually you're gonna be great. You're gonna be great, and your shoulders will grow bigger, but the dress will still fit. I don't know why she threw that in, but shoulders are inside. The dress will be fine. So you obviously got something going on where you're going to go out in your refinery and everything. But you are going to be absolutely great, because you can't go wrong with this lady.
Granny Maggie.
Granny, yeah, I love the way they work with me sometimes. It's kind of like halfway towards shadowing. because I just feel like I have to behave like them.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt that what made me feel quite emotional actually with this connection is I felt like I was talking with family. I felt like I was sitting around on the sofa at the house, we just had dinner, and I felt like I was talking with family.
Yeah, she was that kind of person that would just adopt everyone.
Yeah, I felt totally recognised with her. Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much for working with us, Kirsty.
Yes, thank you.
And bless your family. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. God bless you. Okay. So, fabulous.
Wow. It's hard to believe that we've had an hour and a half together already.
I know. I love working with you, Nick.
It's such fun. It's such fun. I've got my, you know, I'm going to have you on my show at some point just to say thank you for having me here. I've got a lovely friend of mine called Lisa who's oh, she did adopt everyone. There you go. Oh, bless her.
I felt like I was family.
Yeah. Speaking of being adopted, my friend tomorrow, and it ties in with today actually because she does tea leaf reading.
Ooh.
As soon as I saw your teapot, I thought, oh, she'd love that one.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about tea leaf reading tomorrow, and getting that out. And it's once again this. So I can't help myself. This lady, her spiritual connection, she would have known all about that, and you know, the old tradition
about palm reading as well.
Yes. But it's been such a pleasure working with you. It's just such a shame that it had to be for the reason it is. So we continue to send our healing to Alison, of course.
Absolutely.
But you know, it's great to be here. I will be with you as long as you need me.
Bless you, darling. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jane says, wonderful show. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, Jane.
And with that, please keep it with the SPtv family. Please keep liking and sharing and supporting our channel. And as I always say, keep it SPtv.
And of course, yes, Matt and Kirsty tonight. Don't forget 8 o'clock. Be there or be square, or just be square in front of the TV with the YouTube player on, with a cup of tea and your dinner and some biscuits, listening to Matt and Kirsty, maybe even getting a message yourself. Who knows?
Okay. Bye, everybody.
God bless everyone. See you soon.